just like algorithms, data needs to be engineered to allow training of robust algorithms, and the volume of the data alone is only one dimension of big data. And there are other dimensions of big data that are as important, if not more important. And those dimensions are velocity, how quickly we're measuring the data and analyzing it, variety, the different types of data that we are capturing, and also veracity. And these are computational concepts that define big data beyond just the volume. So at the time, this was a very contrarian view, but it's great for me to see that recently folks like Andrew Ng, who's been a leader in the world of AI and machine learning, is starting to talk about these themes under a new umbrella called data-centric AI, meaning that over the years, we've captured large volumes of data that may not have been fit for purpose, and we've trained a lot of great algorithms. And now it's time to move towards a more data-centric way of thinking about this domain. And this is what I used to call going from big data to smart data. The idea that now we're in a great position to start to engineer the data that we need to feed into our algorithms.
It's an interesting concept to talk about AI as data-centric, because I would consider it is data-centric by default.
Well, it should be. A few years ago, at the peak of the big data hype cycle, let's say, there was a lot of emphasis on just volume. And the thinking was that we can train algorithms that can improve the signal-to-noise ratio. And in some cases, that has actually been quite the case. But we haven't really seen any scalable models that have used noisy data in biomedicine to be able to make the kinds of predictive algorithms that one could incorporate into existing workflows with confidence. They are predictive, and a lot of these algorithms tend to be quite impressive. The risks associated with the uncertainties of the prediction in the context of biomedical research and healthcare outweigh the potential benefits. So these algorithms haven't truly scaled. So now we're in a position that we have trained. We have an amazing foundation, a lot of great algorithms that have been engineered using less than ideal data. So now we can hold, in a way, the algorithms constant. We can take a deep breath and stand back and start to shift our focus to engineering the data in order to make the algorithms that we have already refined in the last few years fine-tuned in terms of their predictions. And I believe what that can do is increase the confidence in the output of these algorithms, so that some of the hesitation about their use in biomedical research or the healthcare setting can be addressed more appropriately, and it could probably make people a lot more confident if the data is engineered to meet the needs of the algorithms in terms of their precision and accuracy of prediction.
Do you think that AI models could ever really be scalable? There's various reasons why the transfer of AI models is problematic when you go from one healthcare institutions from the other, but just judging by the fact that clinical guidelines are not the same across the world makes it really difficult to imagine that algorithms developed with under one guidelines would be approved by a set of clinicians that believe in other guidelines.
That's a great question. I think the way I see it, if the current trend continues, the guidelines of the future will be algorithms, essentially allowing us to extract data from the real world. And that's something that has already been done, and a lot of great efforts that are focused on extracting real world data and then using that data in a data-centric way, meaning engineering that data or the right elements of that data to make predictions about how to best optimize the care of a patient. and delivering those algorithms and the predictions to physicians and clinicians as essentially decision support tools that are more near real time. A lot of guidelines take months to update, and they don't necessarily include the needs and experiences of individual patients. They're really more about the aggregate experience of patients that are either enrolled in clinical trials or are part of other studies or meta-analyses. They're generalizations in a lot of cases. So in order for us to bring more precision into how we deliver care, I believe the guidelines of the future will be essentially algorithms that are delivered to the point of care and put in the hands of clinicians and physicians as decision support tools.